almost a year ago, Syria's then President Bashar al-Assad fled to Russia after rebel forces seized control of the capital, Damascus. And this marked the end of a brutal dictatorship that had oppressed Syrians for years. Since Assad's downfall, a group of media organisations from 20 countries has spent months examining an archive of photos. The images give clues about the fate of some of those who disappeared during Assad's rule. Now, a note of caution, you may find some of the topics and images in this report disturbing.
The images are horrific. Corpses, many of them naked, bearing signs of torture. These photos were stored on a hard drive. A Syrian military police colonel who wishes to remain anonymous secured the images after the fall of Assad.
If I had left the hard drive in the safe, someone might have destroyed it. I saw so many documents being burned around me, so I took the hard drive with me.
The images reached German public broadcaster NDR via intermediaries. They were then analysed jointly with other German media outlets, WDR, SZ, and international partners. Many of the photos come from a military hospital in Damascus, a place where people were also tortured. There are around 700,000 photos in total. They document mass murder. Questions about this to Assad and those responsible remain unanswered. In Germany, the Federal Prosecutor's Office is using such images to investigate the perpetrators.
These photos vividly illustrate and therefore objectively demonstrate what individuals have suffered. When you see these photos, there's really no doubt about what happened there.
The dataset represents a gruesome archive, but for many Syrian families, it is also a possible lead to their missing loved ones.
Amir Musawy was part of that investigation. He's a journalist with German public broadcaster NDR. Welcome to the studio, Amir. Massive number of images then, 70,000 taken by the Syrian military police between 2015 and 2024. Walk us through what those images and documents reveal about the scope and systematic nature of the crimes committed by the Assad regime.
The footage shows that the regime is trying to put that the killing machine in a kind of a legal process in order just to have picture, a kind of evidence, and send that picture to the military court, and the judge, the military judge, make the decision about a person is already done, already died 2 or 3 months before. And we saw it directly, we've been there in the military court, and we saw the document, how it show, it's very clear that person A or person B is already died 3 or 4 months before, and then legalization process have been held in that court.
Oh, I see. You torture them, kill them, then provide documentary evidence which the court then rubber stamps. We understand it. So this is all based on the idea that we, and by we I mean the Assad regime, we win, we document this, we are not going to be held to account.
Exactly, and we thought that that process has been worked till 2015 after the publication of that Caesar file. You remember, maybe some of your audience remember that when an under officer went outside and spoke about that. And we thought, okay, the international community is going to punish the regime of Assad, and he's going to stop. That's what we thought. Then in 2025, we found that pictures, and we were really shocked that the machine worked very efficient and produced casualties over casualties till the October 2025. And 24, sorry.
Tell us more about how these images came to light and how you verified them. You know, do they show what they purport to show? Because, of course, we're living in an age of AI.
Yeah. In fact, we try to understand how the regime of Assad managed to get control over Syria over 50 years. And that's why we went there. We intensified our research there. And we found that some images could be taken in this area, and that through a third part, we got played that images here in Germany, and we decide we don't want just to see, we want to go there and talk with that person responsible of that. And in the end, we could manage to meet the colonel who is responsible and the chief of that unit responsible to documentation of that images, and he talked about that, and he explained us how the process was going on. And we found also later on, we got a permission to get in his office in a military police, and in his office, we saw the safe where he put that hard drive. He talked about it before. We saw his pictures, we saw his ID, a military record, and we saw everything what verified his identity. Right. By the way, we showed that images for an expert here in Germany, in Köln, and they explain us how horrific and how real that images is. And it showed a people has been tortured to the death. Bleeding and smashing, and really it was very hard to work, to be honest.
And what was the purpose of these beatings, this torture? Was it to extract information? Was it punishment? Why was this happening?
We believe that till 2012 or 11, that regime behaved in a way to bring person X or B to torture him to get information. Right. But after the revolution, the torturing has been used as a weapon just to terrifying the people in Syria. Just to say, if you are going to go outside on the street demonstrating, you are going to face this and that. And that was a kind of horrible weapon against their own people.
And the colonel who revealed these photos, what did you make of him and his motivations?
Of course, we asked him that question, whether he is feeling guilty about that. He just...
Is he still at large? He hasn't been jailed or anything?
No, I think not. Till the last information that I got about him, I think he's still free. But in the end of the time, we asked him as a journalist, this is our job to ask whether he's feel guilty about that or get a kind of a part of the responsibility. He said, no, I got orders just to record that document. And he said also, I could delete all that images and no one will going to see it. He's right, because this is the only copy that he have it in his safe, and he tried to get it, to save it. He saved it, and he go publicly about it. Just as he said, there is a lot of things has been happening. The families should know about it.
Let's talk about the victims and the families. Were you able to identify any of the victims? Were you able to put any families, give them closure?
Of course, that was one of the important points in whole research, just to bring more light to the facts and to the reality. We could extracting some about 1,500 names in that body. Some of them, they have name. Some of them without any name, just a code, just a numbers. With that names, we made it a sheet, a list, and we share it with the United Nations organization and also Syrian NGOs having access to the families, that the families could at least have a person and a body just to ask about their relatives.
Because we saw in your film the heartbreaking sight, and we can see behind you, of people just holding up photos in the hope that someone will have seen something.
Exactly. In Syria, you have the huge amount of victims, and the new government is still not able to deliver answer about all that victims. It needs a long time, access of capability, equipment, information. Some of evidence has been deleted, and it will need a long time to answer that over 1,000 questions from their families. But in the end of the day, that work bring a small light in the darkness of the era of Bashar al-Assad.
And is that what you hoped to achieve with this investigation, helping the families? And I don't know, what else did you hope would come out of this?
I think with that evidence, maybe the justice here in Europe could move forward to put more information about the role of Assad and his officers and bring them to the justice.
We're talking to you, Amir. Thank you so much for talking us through that. That's journalist Amir Musawy from German public broadcaster NDR. Thank you.